Hey, fellow fragrance lovers. Welcome back to Centaur Fragrance, where we give you detailed fragrance reviews to help you decide if you want to buy that fragrance. If not, hopefully find your next masterpiece fragrance. I'm all about exploring the fragrances, so welcome back. And if you do like this channel, Centaur Fragrance, don't forget to like, do all that good stuff. Help me out if you want to see me grow and help support the channel. So, y'all came for a review of Sauvage Elixir, the new one on the chopping block. Is it a money grab? We'll talk about that at the end of the review, but let's talk about what it smells like and what this fragrance actually is before we talk about if this fragrance is actually worth the money. So Sauvage Elixir, as y'all already know, there was the EDT, the EDP, the Parfum, and now the Elixir. This is said to be more mature, and I have to say, I do agree. There's already some fragrance reviewers who have said that this is more of a mature fragrance. You get grapefruit, I do get that. It's a watery grapefruit, a watery citrus. I've always enjoyed grapefruit. I prefer it over bergamot, even though bergamot and all those other citruses can be very beautiful. Yuzu and some of those other ones. Grapefruit tends to be one of my favorites, if not my favorite of all. So I do like that watery, fresh component. There is lavender here. I do have to say that the lavender does add some of that old school vibe. So if you tend to not like lavender, you probably are not going to like that addition to the Sauvage DNA. I personally sometimes like lavender. I prefer it actually dry. Some people really hate dry lavender, but I sometimes do enjoy it. Depends really on the fragrance, how it's blended, and how the lavender is used. But here, I feel like it's a little bit green. It's very confident. I do feel like it's a little bit more of a dry lavender, but I do feel like it's a little bit green. Maybe it was harvested when it was young and green. Doesn't feel very aged as far as a lavender goes, but it still adds some of that old school refinement that some people really notice. There's spices. I'm not exactly sure what the spices are here. I detect some nutmeg-like vibes. Maybe there's an older, like a woody cinnamon, but to me it's more of a nutmeg type spice. Maybe there's a cardamom, a little bit of that blended into that nutmeg. It's not the same as saffron, but nutmeg has a similar feel, so I can see why some people don't like this one. I want to say there's a soapy element to this, but I don't really smell the soapiness, but I feel where they tried to capture some of that soapy, maybe slightly animalic-ish feel, even though it doesn't smell like that. Maybe like Koros into this DNA. And I can see a little bit of, a little homage, a little heritage added to this fragrance. So right off the bat, if you're a gentleman, you're going to like this one a bit more than the other Sauvage fragrances. A lot of gentlemen out there really didn't like the Sauvages. And hey, I'm not trying to take a side, say that's a bad or a good fragrance. Y'all know that I personally never truly enjoyed the Sauvage DNA. I kind of like the Bleu de Chanel's personally more. But Sauvage is a mass appealing fragrance, likable, and thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people enjoy the DNA. So there's rich woods in the dry down. It's a bit different as well. Gets really away from that ambergris dry down, and from the EDP and especially the Parfum Sauvage, which had a little bit more of a almost myrrh Tonka sweetness, has a little bit deep and a heavy, like, incensey sweetness. This doesn't really have that, which really made it modern. Even though some people felt those were mature, they still felt it was kind of modern. This really doesn't have the sweetness. It doesn't have that salty musk, and it goes for more of a rich wood approach. So I wouldn't say it's sandalwood in the dry down, honestly. I'm not really sure what, maybe it's a dry, I don't know, maybe it's a certain type of dry sandalwood. It could be a sandalwood, but to my nose, it's smelling a little bit more, I don't know, dry, oily. Not really sure how to describe the woods. I'm sure that there's some cedar here. There's got to be some cedar for a modern, mass-appealing fragrance. Some of that amber wood, taking an homage from the YSL, the Les Parfums, very, very popular. I'm sure there's some of that here. And maybe there's some of the more drier feeling, sandalwood. But it's not the creamy sandalwood. It's not the Mysore sandalwood that you're more familiar with. It might be, I think it's the Australian. Anyways, fantastic fragrance. It is good, but a little bit of an acquired taste. Not for everybody. I have seen Jet Sense and some of the people out there really enjoy this one who do like some of the 80s, 90s kickback fragrances. Some people enjoy that this is a little bit more for those types of gentlemen. So, interesting fragrance for sure. Not as mass appealing, not as likable to most people. But it's still a good fragrance, and a lot of gentlemen. Again, if you shied away from the previous DNAs, this might be the one to try. I think it has a good balance of the new and the old, and I do think it smells professional enough and gentlemanly enough to be pulled off by a gent who wants to smell respectable, maybe 30 plus. The younger guys, there's plenty of very playful fragrances. Y'all know about the Dylan Blues and the Ultramalls and all that good stuff. You already know. This one might not be exactly what you wanted. So let's talk about the the performance. So I'm getting about 8 hours, not bad. It's called the Elixir. Some people might be expecting extrait de parfum crazy performance. So I would say it's above average projection, and it's not a beast as far as projection goes, but it can get you noticed. But I would say that it holds on like a good parfum, 8, maybe 9 hours. It's definitely a solid performance, not bad. It gives you what you want. But again, it's a little bit simple to my nose. I would have liked a few more notes to come through, make it a little bit more interesting. And I do, again, definitely feel like this is a grown-up fragrance. So good for professional environments. This is a Sauvage that would work much better than the EDT, in my humble opinion. This one, the Elixir, would work much better in a professional business, anywhere where a little bit more subtlety is needed. Even though this is not a weak fragrance, if you put on just a couple sprays of this, you can get by, and it'll have a good performance. It'll probably last you most of your day, if not all your day. So this fragrance, pretty nice. Compliment factor, people respected. They like this fragrance. Compared to other gentlemanly fragrances, I can think of, citrus vetivers that gentlemen love. I can think of oak moss fragrances. I can think of more woody fragrances. I can think of some of the smoky fragrances. And I do have to admit that even though this is a little bit of a kickback fragrance, it does get better attention and better compliments than a lot of other fragrances. Now, some fragrances are even more polarizing. They can get you bigger compliments or worse reactions, like Anateus, one of my favorites. And if you're a gentleman and you haven't given Anateus a chance, you might want to try that one as well. But this one, for the modern, sophisticated gentleman who doesn't want something overtly complicated or overtly risky, this might be the better fragrance. But I would probably steer you towards Anateus, honestly. Not a bad fragrance. So, compliment factor is decent. It's not great. It's not bad. Somewhere in the middle. Depends on how you dress, how you act, how you come across. Again, this isn't an overtly mass-appealing fragrance, even though it's wearable, and it's not trying to get compliments. Again, this is not the direction this fragrance went, and I don't think it was the intention behind this fragrance to be a compliment getter. But it's not offensive, not at all. So my final thoughts, I think that this was a very odd misstep. There's some designer level fragrances, brands that they're not, I guess you can, I don't know, some people could call all Chanel's niche and all Guerlain's niche, and there's the debate behind that, but they have some of these brands like Guerlain, Dior, and Chanel have their designer level lines. I want to be very clear about this, and they almost want to have some fragrances that are in between designer level, like that $80 to $100, like this, and they want to have it almost in between. I really don't get that. I think the average consumer is used to paying $80 or less, and a lot of people would like to pay less. Instead, you're giving us 2 ounces, which is less. And again, I'm not their marketing team. I don't know who's buying from them and their demographics. This does come in a fancier bottle. I will talk about the price. I'm just talking about what you're getting right now. So it's a fancier bottle. It has a hollowed out section in the bottom. It has a cutout, like a relief cutout. Hopefully you can see that in the front, like the square. I think the text is a little bit more shiny. I don't know. I always enjoy the magnetic caps, and I'll waste one more spray for you to share. You can do a light spray. That was a beautiful mist. That was a good sprayer, and you can control it too. So, nice sprayer. So overall, I think that there is some attention that's been given to the detail. My speculation is that this is not going to be a terribly popular fragrance. I just have to be honest. I don't think this is going to be as popular as the original, which made the waves. Really put the changed the fragrance game. And, you know, Dior might have to admit, just like Jean Paul Gaultier, like with their Le Male, they might have to truly admit to themselves that they have to make another fragrance that really changes things and really impresses people. Yeah, you can keep playing the flanker game, and in my opinion, this is a cash grab. Not that it's a bad fragrance, but that it took the easy street. This is a soft pitch, as you would say in baseball, an easy kind of homage to the gentleman. And I'm not insulting the gentleman. If you like this fragrance, more power to you. It does a lot of things right, and it's not a risky fragrance. And some people don't want a risky fragrance, but they want something very high quality. So this might be the farthest you ever want to go towards luxury or niche, because some niche is risky. But again, there are things like Galloway and Sedley and plenty of other, I've talked about, easy to wear niche fragrances. Bohemian Lime by Goldfield and Banks. So anyways, this fragrance here, for the $155 for 2 ounces, it's less in size. It's not a 3.4, it's a 2-ounce bottle for $150. That's, for price for mil for value, that's like $200 odd. And for, if it was a 3.4 ounce is what I'm saying, for the price per mil, to put it into perspective in your mind. And I don't feel like this is a niche level fragrance. The blending is better, the quality's here. I just can't recommend this for the price. And when I saw the sticker price, I knew that was something I was going to feel, but I tried to keep that feeling back looking at the price tag. And then when I smelled it, and then when I tested it, for me, again, it's well done. It has a good balance of depth and feel, like a good parfum should. But is this worth $150 plus, for 2 ounces? Can't recommend it. Honestly, no. It's just too expensive for what it is. Now, if you are a more well-to-do gentleman, you like this DNA, or you want a mass-appealing yet confident, some people might say a little bit more of a masculine fragrance. I don't know what you're allowed to say these days regarding that, but I do think this can make you feel confident, for sure. Hey, more power to you. Let me know in the comment sections below. Do you feel like this was a pure cop-out fragrance, a sellout, that they were just trying to make a little bit of money? I do kind of feel that way, and I hope that we don't really get any more Sauvage flankers. I think that they've beaten this horse to death. They've kicked it, and they've beaten it, and they need to move on to a new fragrance. Take some risks. Not all new fragrance releases are successful. The flanker game, is a safe way to make money. But if you really want to impress people, change the fragrance world, boost the image of your company, I don't know. In my opinion, it's better to take a risk and, make a home run instead of these, aiming for the, the safe approaches. So anyways, nice fragrance. That's really what I have to say. I don't know if I said anything particularly enlightening in this fragrance review. I want to enlighten you and educate you. So let me know in the comment sections below. Was this an informative fragrance review? Was this a helpful fragrance review? I hope that it helped you find your favorite fragrances, to find some masterpieces and the best fragrances in the world. And, come back every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I always have a new fragrance review coming up for you. And follow me on Instagram. I invite you to my Instagram, where I show you daily my scents of the day, what I'm wearing every single day. Also, the review of that fragrance, unboxings, and more. So, hope to see you on Instagram as well. I would love to see you message me on Instagram and let me know that you found me from my YouTube channel. So, I'll see you, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Live well. Smell amazing. Wear what you love. Find the fragrances that you love. And let me know, do you love or hate this fragrance? I feel like some of the younger guys really don't like that they made a more mature fragrance. And a lot of the older guys, I don't know what you think about this fragrance. So tell me, do you love it? Do you hate it? All your thoughts down below. And I'll see you next time, everybody. Peace out and bye.